Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another classic film review. Today's classic film review is for the 1995 serial killer film Seven. One of my favourite films, probably of all time, I guess. I just think it's a completely flawless film, and I've just watched it again recently with my wife, who, believe it or not, has never seen the film, so I was delighted to revisit it. And this is a film that is directed by David Fincher, the great David Fincher, and it stars Morgan Freeman as Detective Somerset, Brad Pitt as Detective Mills, and Gwyneth Paltrow as Tracy. Now, this film was an absolute box office smash hit, and when you watch it, it's easy to see why. I think it's arguably the greatest serial killer film ever made. It's a wonderful film that focuses on these two detectives. Morgan Freeman's character and Brad Pitt's character are both at different ends of the spectrum. Morgan Freeman is due to retire in a week, and Brad Pitt's character, Detective Mills, has just transferred in and is going to be taking over from Morgan Freeman's character when he retires. So they're teaming up together briefly to have a handover before he retires. However, consequently, on the second day of them meeting up, they come across a brutal murder that turns out to be the first of many that are all based on the 7 deadly sins. Each one seems worse than the last, and it draws them further and further in, and they become obsessed with trying to capture and track down this serial killer. Right, I'm going to try and do this review as much as I can spoiler free. Now, I don't mind so much giving spoilers on classic film reviews, because most of them have been out for quite some time and you've had ample opportunity to watch them by now. But I'm going to try and be respectful to this film, because there's one massive reveal in this film that was kept secret at the time when it was released, and I'm going to do that here. I'm not going to say anything about it, because I remember being so surprised when I first saw it, as many were when it was first in the cinema screens. So I'm not going to reveal that now. Needless to say, though, I think this film is it's so well made, with incredible performances. Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt's chemistry is bang, it just sparks on screen. They're so good together, with these two personalities that are so different. Morgan Freeman's character is so burnt out and fed up and just so disillusioned with everything that he's seeing. He can't wait to retire, and Brad Pitt is completely the other end. He still believes that there's hope. He still believes he can make a difference. He still believes he can help people, and they clash on a number of occasions in this film because of their different beliefs. And that's one thing this film is so good at. It's so good at posing questions. It's really philosophical. You know, I was watching it, we were watching it with my wife and we were talking, I'm saying it's just so good because it asks these really clever and important questions, you know, that you want to discuss, you know, the reasons why, you know, Morgan Freeman is feeling the way he is, and the reasons why Brad Pitt's character feels the way he is. It's just a great film that poses many great questions with great dialogue. It's incredibly inventive. It's brutal beyond belief, and it's genuinely tense and frightening at times. It borders on a horror film at times, this thing. It's so dark and grim as well. You can easily get drawn into this film's grimness and darkness and use it as a negative. You could even come back and say, I don't like Seven, it's too grim, it's too dark, it's doesn't give you any hope really at all, it doesn't give you any positivity. No, but it's not meant to. It's meant to shine the light on, you know, the dark parts of the world, and there's a reason why it's always raining in this film. It adds to the forebodingness of it. It adds to the theatre, and it adds to the darkness of it. This never-ending downpour. And it's literally raining in pretty much every scene that you see them in outside. And it's a challenging film to watch in some regards. because of the subject matter and some of the things that they have to see as police officers and us as audience members, and of some of these horrific kills, and it finishes on such a high, this film, or low, whichever way you want to look at it. It is arguably one of the greatest endings, I think, of a film. So I can't think of one that tops it. There's The Usual Suspects. The ending of that film just blew me away, and this one jumps into my mind as well. I mean, you know, if I had to do a top 10 list, and I might do one day, of the best endings in films or the most shocking endings in films, this would be right up there on that list. It's hard to describe this ending if you've never seen this film yourself, but needless to say, you won't believe the ending of this film. It's so wonderful and definitely worth checking out. If you've never seen Seven, it's, I think, one of the greatest films easily of the 90s. If I was to do my top 10 favourite 90s films, again, this would be right in there. Most top 10 films you can think of that this film could be linked into, serial killer films, 90s films, Brad Pitt films, whatever you want to say, it'd be in those lists. It's a faultless film. It's one of the rare 10 out of 10s on this channel. I can't give you a fault in this film unless you watch this film and it's not your style, or you don't like how dark and grim it is. You might find fault with it in that sense, but it's meant to be presented to you like that. It's not a fault of the film. It's probably a fault of the audience member, because it's just not your type of film. I think it's a perfect film, and it is one you weren't going to be uplifted when you finish watching this film, but you were going to be amazed at how great a film it actually is. So for me, it's a very, very clear 10 out of 10. One of the best in Brad Pitt's filmography and Morgan Freeman's filmography, and definitely worthy of the classic film tag. So that is my review for Seven. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I'll see you back for more reviews on Screen Stars very, very soon.